Welcome to Permission for Pleasure, where we empower women to create liberated empires anchored in leadership harmony in service of your highest mind, body, and soul wellness. I am your host, Amy Jones, and in today's episode, we are going to be connecting with Sandra Nikolic, my darling friend and mentor, to share her wisdom on faith and business. How are you doing?
Hello, and thank you for this very warm welcome.
You know I love you, and you are a wise woman. So Sandra is a leadership mentor. She has a PhD in motivation and burnout, and her leadership work with entrepreneurs, CEOs, coaches, and mentors is centered around mastery, around grace, and around sovereignty. She's been on her path of spiritual, somatic, and quantum energetic work since 2011. And she is the author of Quantum Subconscious Reframe Method and Tantrica Masculine and Feminine Teachings for Personal and Professional Mastery. I am so excited to have you here. And during our 30-minute conversation, we are going to share with our listeners Sandra's empowering personal journey of mind, body, and soul wellness anchored in leadership harmony. Sandra, it is my honor and privilege. Welcome.
Thank you, and let's talk, inspire, and my intention with this conversation and this journey overall is to give people food for contemplation, something to make them a bit more curious. So when we approach things, whether it's personal or professional, with this like healthy curiosity, openness, we can always hear nuggets of wisdom, no matter who it is. So it's not like it needs to be someone special, and it's really lovely. And I love all of my titles, but that's the main goal, that you are open to actually hear your own thoughts, wisdom, and everything that we shared throughout this conversation can hopefully make you see your own greatness.
You know, and that's so beautiful, because the one word that I have really embodied since connecting with you, and I've known you almost a year now, you were a mentor and you're a friend, and it's the word of, it's curious, it's curiosity, it's contemplation, it's that feminine energy and bringing that balance back into harmony. You've been an, excuse me, you've been an integral part in my healing and spiritual journey, and I would love to hear what inspired you, curiously, what inspired you to start your business?
Well, it was not one thing, because I'm very stubborn, so I need a lot of signs, a lot of clues, and there were plenty. But what would be like the final drop when I said, okay, I'm starting my business as literally business, was actually the somatic element, the body. I felt like I literally need to do this. And it did not make sense. I had a normal job. I had what we would call secure job. And it was really a big adventure to start something on my own. Plus, in my country, I'm in Serbia, Europe, the professional development and that entire industry is not even slightly developed as in the US or some other parts of the world. So that was another piece of the challenge, because I'm starting something on my own, and on top of it, it's something that's completely new. And I even today say that for the personal and professional development industry, it's a bit like a wild, wild west. So there are many things that are not regulated, and you can literally do what you feel like doing. So that's like a two-edged sword. And I believe that it also gave me the space that I felt what was needed. So if I can do whatever I want, then chaos actually is not a bad place for exploration, because you see people that are way better, way worse. No comparison, but you just like see what does not resonate. It has this great variety, and I was like, okay, let's see where this goes, because my first, let's say, transition was I prepared people for job interviews and for international English exams, when it's not about knowing English, it's about focus, mindset, being calm. So those additional factors, not just language. And then I started noticing that people who hired me for some HR services, or who were going abroad, they would come back and feel this like trust
Mhm.
to ask me different questions. So when it started being in huge numbers for me, in huge numbers, I was like, okay, what is happening? And then I realized that actually my job is transitioning and I need to catch up. So that's the shortest version how to describe it. It
I
had
didn't.
really a lot of elements in it.
That is so cool. I never knew that about you with the job interview piece, and that's so cool because as people are in this transition, we're looking. We don't want to do the old. We want to do the new. And there's this bridge, this stability that you offer, this beautiful masculine container of this chaos of where am I going? Even though their heart and their soul and they know where they're going, you create this beautiful, safe container. I mean, I've experienced it. And even so far with I wrote this down with the Wild West concept of the coaching industry. I love it because there is beauty in that chaos of we have this container that there's this industry, but we don't know what we're doing because we're all learning how to lead ourselves and move and interconnect in harmony and not be in this old hierarchy of, well, this is how it always was done. And that's why I actually really like this industry, because we're given an opportunity to lead ourselves and make it our own, find our way. And like you said, we've had to learn a few lessons along the way. But I mean, the beautiful thing about your space is you really hold space for men and women to learn how to trust and lead and reconnect with their inner guidance and their sovereignty and their graceful leadership. And that is so, so empowering. I love it. Mm.
Thank you. Yeah, because those words may sound archaic or unusual, but my goal and mission and vision is to actually put all those principles and fancy words and concepts into very, very practical outcomes.
Yeah, exactly. And so you can keep moving forward and build your confidence and build your success and create the reality that is already theirs for you to receive.
Yes, exactly.
So, what obstacles have gotten in your way as you've been creating this reality for yourself? I'd love to hear what's tripped you up the most and how you moved through that.
Well, I'll name a few because we don't have a retreat amount of time for my obstacles in all of these years. But as I said, it's not really established industry in my country, and I was not even thinking about online
Mhm.
work at that time. It was not on my radar. Then there was and the element of finances, because we as a household did not have like steady income, something that you can count on. And when I actually started my company as like company with taxes and all the things, I had a toddler, 2-year-old. So it was a challenge in that way. And even before that, before I was thinking that will be my business, because as my beautiful mentor Yvonne de la Flor says, future leaves clues. So I knew I could read people's energies. I could sense very easily, strongly what happens in their body, and I would perform healing, but I did not know the names.
Mm-hmm.
That's a story on its own, how I got there. But the obstacle was that a lot of things that were there for me, I did not know what they were, such as quantum space reading or quantum healing or language empowerment. So I was doing things before I knew what they were. Some came naturally, some came through work. I then decided to go in the direction of hypnotherapy. That made sense. That was like, okay, this is a good idea.
I've seen this one before.
I really was overwhelmed, and that was a huge obstacle with like the tools, the gifts, the opportunities that were opening up. So I felt this like crippling imposter syndrome because of the sensation. I felt like jack of all trades, master of none. And it was a huge piece because I did not know how some transformations happen. This is my dog, my puppy. Say hello. She gave me like first few minutes
Oh, there you
to
go.
be without her, and then I'm on board. And to sum up, it was about knowledge and skills. It was about finances. It was about surrounding. And it was about that family situation. And it was a challenge for me to stick to this idea when it was hard.
Yeah.
So not quitting was real challenge.
As my daughter comes in and asks for a snack. Yes, you can. Okay. This is life, right?
Of course.
You know, it's so funny that you share this, because like I think to some degree we all go through this. It's like a shedding and a releasing of the security blanket of the old. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I got all this. It's like this, like everything, like a waterfall. And then you just try to like dissect and understand like what I like, what I don't like, what I'm good at, what I'm not, where my lane is, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it's appealing and it's a growing and it's evolving. And you know, we have this all available within us. And it's just a matter of remembering and reconnecting and letting go of the old stories and all those amazing things. And for anybody that's starting out, and especially because you'd mentioned in your part of the world, this isn't even in an awareness. And so I'm many parts of the world, it's not in an awareness. And so this will be coming into more of an awareness, which is beautiful, because now you get to pay forward your wisdom and collapse time on all the pieces that, you know, you can probably help people move through a lot quicker, which is beautiful. And for those people that are starting to change direction and maybe looking to find their way home, what type of guidance and wisdom can you share with
Well, I would advise people to get creative about finances. So to have some kind of safety, I would not advise anyone to do what I did. So honestly,
Well, it shocks your
yes,
nervous
it worked
system.
out. Yeah, now it's great. It came with a price.
Yeah.
And for me, that price was a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of really, really, I can honestly say traumatic
Yeah.
period. So do do yeah, pursue your passion, yeah, go after your dream, but also be mindful about the way things will happen. And as why do I say get creative? So think of something that can be your like side job, or put up some saving on the side, or see in what way you can give yourself support and safety, because it's turbulent. The entrepreneurial journey, no matter what kind of entrepreneurial journey, has a lot of roller coasters. And if we are here as we are for the long run, for years, not for months, we need to brace ourselves and have some form of safety. So don't be like, this is my passion and it has to work. Sometimes the divine timing is not where we would like it to be. So don't see yourself as a failure if you get additional job, or like you find something that works for you, because this is long journey, and sometimes things click instantly. Sometimes we have a lot of things to set in order before things start functioning. And I know this advice is not sexy, and it's not just go, just but that's my honest sharing. So consider feeling safe regards to finances as much as possible and get creative with it. Then what also is not what we would call attractive advice is the honest preparation to failing, because you're exploring. Some people do, and some people don't instantly know what they're good at. So it's okay. Everyone's journey is their own journey. So if you don't know what's your niche, you need to try, like literally as if you go to taste different cake flavors. A bit of this, a bit of that, try whatever makes sense. And those failures will be also guidelines what you're good at, what does make sense. And you start building your preferences, and you'll start building your mastery. And I don't know who said, but I love the quote, do what's easy for you. Because we're so used to do what's hard. No, do what is easy, what comes naturally. The things in my business, such as the leadership or the releasing tension, subconscious reframing. So seeing what is someone masculine or feminine like, asking the right question, reading quantum field, those things are a poetry for my soul. I love it, and it comes easy. What is not easy is not easy to like face some kind of adversity or duality. Some things are not fair. it's it's really that you hear a lot of stories, a lot of challenging experiences. So that's part that's not fun, but it's needed, and I enjoy that in sense I know where we are going, so it's worth it. But everything I do is super easy for me, and it's like that quote, if you can explain it simply, you know it well. So if it's easy for you to do it, that's a good guideline in what direction you should be going.
Well, and we come from a society of overcomplicating, overgiving, overperforming, overdoing. We don't think, and this is the magic of the quantum, is if you can get still enough and quiet enough to listen, you slow down so that you actually end up speeding up and you manifest instantly, which makes things easy because it's like, all I have to do is this one thing and I get that. But you got to just get rid of all the noise in the way first. That's
Yeah.
a journey.
And there's also a difference when we feel that we need to do something. It's simple. We know simply how to do it, but it's not easy. So that's a part that I see, because a lot of people talk about alignment and it's just in flow and it's just so easy and
But if you
la
don't
la land,
understand that,
rainbows and unicorns. Simple is not easy. Sometimes the most aligned decision is super triggering. Sometimes you'll say, oh, my body says no. I feel some weird energy around this, where actually it's your fear or some kind of
Mhm.
uh, comfort zone or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. The thing is that we really, whatever we are doing, we need to learn when we are honest with ourselves and when we are lying. And I know it sounds simple.
Yeah.
It is simple, but it's not always easy.
Yeah. And that noise will, for me, I mean, I'm 44, and only really up until a couple of years ago, I thought my intuition was one thing, and realizing it was definitely, I mean, intuition is always talking to you. It's how you interpret it. And whether you're running away from your pain or you're going towards your pleasure, you're still going to feel, and understanding how to navigate that. But more importantly, back to what you said a few minutes ago about the whole concept of the mind, body, soul wellness, and like the somatic piece, slow and steady wins the race. I know that's not as exciting, but if you look at the tortoise and the hare, who won the race? And we come from a society of instant gratification. I want it now, I want it big, I want more. But if you're gonna go on this like seesaw, teeter totter of polarity, and you get the big high, you're gonna crash and get the big low. And what we as a society need to learn how to do is let go of that attachment of the big high or the big low, the fear and the exuberance, and bring it more into like an equilibrium where you can cruise and create balance within your body, because that energy within you, the anxiety that we feel, has to go somewhere, and you want to be able to use that energy to lead you powerfully, not disempowering. And when you can use the somatic healing that you said was your very first journey, and for me, that understanding that world, understanding how the nervous system works and understanding the subconscious, was a game changer. And I deeply believe that's where we're going from a society to heal, is to release that stuck energy. But you have to do that slowly, because there is a lot of trauma. There's this lifetime, there's previous lifetimes, if that's what you believe in, there's generations, there's a lot of energy stored. And if you go too fast, you're going to clam up and you're just going to sit there, or you're going to run through it. And the way to powerfully move through something is to slowly take one powerful step forward at a time and constantly keep yourself safe. And so I love what you say, that that was really the piece that anchored and shifted. I mean, your massive healing capabilities, it's really creating safety and helping other people create safety within themselves first, because you anchored that. Oh, that's where your power comes from, and then you can go. And that's like That's leadership, that's self-leadership, that's self-empowering. That's this, new world that we're creating. It's beautiful. I love it. We talk about this all day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what do you think, what's the best advice that you have received? I mean, whether it's on this journey or in life in general, you've dropped a couple of nuggets. What's the best advice that you'd love to maybe pay forward and drop in here right now?
One of the best for me is very recent one, because the best one is the one I'm actively using. It came from my mentor, and it is to say to yourself, I'm slowing down. And it's not to like hinder, or whatever the word is, to like stop your progress or moving forward. I'm slowing down. I love it, and I'm bathing in it these days, because for me that's like an invitation to, as she says, to travel to the present moment. And it's really honoring all the bits and pieces of me, like my intuition, the somatic, the divine, whatever you might call it. So there are like different messages and some beautiful insights that when we go in, we then find that sign. As I said, I'm very like, I need a sign for this and that. I'm like, synchronicities are my hobby. What's your hobby? I'm looking for synchronicity. So she said, sign is sign in, like inside, and it really resonates. And I have been doing that for years, but what I love about this journey is that there's always some other level in the most beautiful way. And so I was aware of this, but this is like instant. I'm slowing down. For me, it's like, whoa.
Whoa, totally. And when you say that, I feel it. Like the turbines just like, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
It's not like I stop.
No.
I'm slowing down. And that's the space where we can have this beautiful self-attunement.
Yeah.
And to not just be regulated. Yes, there's a lot talking about the nervous system regulation, but what's beyond regulation, it is attunement, to be really not only healed and grounded, but also very naturally, beautifully mindful and aware of our needs, our rhythms. And that's how we learn to tune to our goals and desires, and whatever we feel like the part of the great vision. And when I say great vision, it's not about the business, it's about that buzzword legacy, because whatever we do, we are creating it. It's not legacy only when you do this or that, it's no matter what. So slowing down really helps me see things within with more clarity, and to recognize different voices, needs, basically anything, personally, professionally, it's there.
My page is filled with notes. I love all of the nuggets that you're saying. And yeah, it's so funny because as you're talking about this whole slowing down, that was my phrase all of last year. But I had to get to the point to even understand what it meant and how it would work for me, because when I was in corporate, it was just white knuckle, go, 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 no time, multitasking, right? And you start to peel away the layers, and then you're like, okay, I'm being present. I'm not multitasking. Huge. I'm not interrupting. I'm pausing and responding before I react. Like all these are little bits and pieces that get to that. And then you get to this beautiful point where, like you said, you like crave it. And then you just like create space and you're like, oh, this is like the richness. This is wealth. This is enjoying life because, and we're human. So sometimes we're in it and sometimes we're not. But when you in those moments, I like to call that the 5D, where everything's just like the music's right, the wind's right, the temperature's right, everybody's just the vibe, right? And when you're in that, that's the slowing down to get into that, to feel it. That's the purpose of life, is to enjoy it. But you're so busy hustling, you can't get to that.
And isn't it funny how much it resembles the womb?
Yeah, totally. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. And I love how you say, I mean, it comes in layers and you did the slowing down. And yes, nervous system is huge because you have to stabilize. You have to make sure you're going in the right direction. And then you can tweak and course correct. And it's, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? And then you tune the radio to the right frequency. And then you're on the right road trip and it's amazing. And so I know that that's what you're passionate about right now, is slowing down.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself personally, your business, maybe your business? Where do you see yourself going in the next few years? What's your vision? What's your plan? Or life in general, really.
I see myself, and that's like non-negotiable. When it comes to vision, I see myself fulfilled. So what does fulfilled mean? For me, it means having the life and business that I enjoy. And I don't know what it will be like, in what way, form, or shape. But I know it is always something new, innovative, creative, and connected to expansion and improvement. Those are my passions. And whatever I do throughout life, my first entrepreneurial journey started in high school. I was designing and making unique dresses, and most of my photos that you see on social media is actually the dresses that I made with my hands, and I'm very proud of that. And it was the same principle. It was unique, it was custom made, it was innovative, it was creative, it had a lot of details.
Mm-hmm.
And according to me and many other people, it was beautiful. So I see that the future has that pattern that I love, that I'm committed, dedicated, that I feel that through that work, I'm serving my soul, the divine, God. Word God is very close to me. But I also love Gandhi's quote that says, there are as many names for God as there are people on the planet. So my source, and that's for next 2 years, 5 years, or as long as I'm here. That's the vision.
Do you know what's so funny? I posted this, I think I put this on my Facebook page this morning. What are you motivated by? I just felt prompted to, I've got something I'm kind of brewing and stirring, and I love it because your motivation is fulfillment. And you look at, I mean, it sounds as though that's what it is. And you look at other people, or in other past lifetimes, it might have been money, it might have been survival, it might have been fame, right? And I love that, back tapping into your heart, doing what you love, being present, and having the awareness to be doing what you love, that is fulfilling. And that's like that inner peace and calm that you don't realize how nourishing that is. Like it's
Yes,
really, really
but really important,
fulfilling.
and just important piece for fulfillment is also the sense of safety. And that's why we need to see money or finances as important because through that element as well we get fulfillment. So it's not that I'm like only feeling, seeing, being spiritual, creative. I also very much love to be comfortable, and the years and transitions where I wasn't, mm, actually now make me really honor it
Yeah.
even more. And it's like on the biological level, when the cells feel safe, they grow. When they don't feel safe, we're like, just survive. And I also come from very turbulent part of the world, and I personally been through 2 wars, and that piece of safety and the awareness of the value of money, the true value of money, is something I also very much honor, because I know how important it is for some other things.
Yeah, and it goes back to the piece you said about slowing down in the connection with honoring all of you. And money is the finance,
Yes,
and the career is a part
absolutely.
of who you are. And so you can't bypass that.
That's
Honoring
very
all,
important.
yeah, and honoring all of you, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, all of the
Yes,
relationships that you have with you, and also the relationships that you have with others. That is also a part of you. And
absolutely.
finance. So it's when you're able to slow down and honor all of those, as your lovely mentor had shared,
Yes,
and I know you do beautifully, that the anchoring of safety and trust is like, I don't have words for just how do you have a word? Like, how does that make you feel?
uh, I noticed that when I lead, so when I work with someone, when I'm in the leadership position, there is a huge sense of responsibility. And when the safety comes from the sense of responsibility, that the people that work with me feel safe because I feel responsible when leading. And again, when we work on their inner leader, when they start doing their leadership, I am there behind them as a sort of protection and support. So they again feel safe to lead. First, they feel safe to follow me, then they feel safe to lead.
Mm.
And when they feel safe to lead, that's where I feel honored to follow them.
Mm.
And I feel
Oh,
it's
that
really
is like, it's
important
getting me right here. Oh.
that
It's like
we honor.
graduation, right? Like you've
Yes,
yeah, it's a beautiful transition.
yes, exactly. And when you're honored to work with people you work with, that that gives them this huge space where they are seen and heard and valued and loved and recognized, and that again contributes to that safety that you said is felt.
I just love you. I, I love you. And if I can repeat what you're saying in my words, it's like you've got this container. You're creating that safe, stable, masculine container so the chaos can swirl around and then kind of get organized and grounded and then get course corrected. And you just kind of keep lovingly just, nudge it
It
forward.
depends. It depends. There are many different positions, and I do many different things. So based on the journey,
Yeah.
there are I don't even know the exact number of options for working one-on-one with me. So based on the necessity and if it's a group program, based on the intention of it, where we are going, there are very, very different positions. So what you've experienced was this mask.
Fine.
But it really has huge variety. The best word for my work that I found is multiverse. Literally, multiple universes happening at the same time. In one we are healing, in one we are expanding, in one we are talking about corporate leadership, in one we are talking about quantum reading, in one we are focusing on the human and divine uncompromised co-creation. It really has many, many different elements. Somewhere we are in the masculine and feminine full, somewhere we are about subconscious or somatic, or literally always something new. I always love learning, so I add some modality, and this year I am beyond excited that I'm trained now into very, very beautiful advanced methodologies. So that's another piece of advice for everyone. Get curious about what you love learning about, and then you can, as you say, you love that word, course correct, and see where it goes, because it's not set in stone. This is my niche, that's it. See what you're passionate about, see what you're learning about, and then you can flow in that
So
space.
if you were to do this all over again, what advice would you give your younger self? Would you change anything, or would you say anything to your younger self?
I would definitely share with her all that I shared with you today.
Yeah.
All of those things. Of course, I would always have something to add, but at at this moment, it feels like we had that conversation through this. I was trying to, I did not trying, but I did my best to be really honest and open. So this is pretty much what I'd give myself as well.
As you were saying that, I just kept hearing the word trust, just trust yourself. Like, it's everything you need is right there. And I love that you,
But also, it's a journey. So if you don't trust yourself, it's a process.
yeah, exactly.
Because just trust yourself is like, sometimes it can be triggering, because, oh, you fool, why don't you trust yourself? What's so hard? You know this, you've got this, go. That's why grace is a keyword. Grace for ourselves and others.
Yeah, it's so funny. My oldest daughter is named Grace. So there are no mistakes, as I like to say. She's just coming home from school. Oh, yeah. I love how vulnerable and authentic, and like you said, that you shared what you would have shared. And I felt that. And I hope that our viewers get a chance to experience that as well. Sorry, I just thought I saw a bear walking by our window.
I want to check that.
We do get them every now and then, so we had one the other day. So how can people, and you have a freebie of something that you want to leave with people, and I think it's amazing, and I've done this with you. I love it, and it's a customized quantum contemplation question. So tell us what this is, and how people can connect in and receive it.
Yes. Well, since this portal of yours, this space is about giving and adding value, I felt that something that is really powerful and custom made, and also time wise for me, and super easy. So the winning thing is that anyone can send me just quantum question in the DM, and I'll tap in their quantum space and feel what I feel as the most relevant question to ponder upon while walking, or to do journaling, or to meditate on it, whatever they feel called to explore. And it's custom, and it's something that people really love, and also that is super fun for me. So just DM quantum question and you get it.
Yeah, and I will contest that it's always the right question. Oh, this has been lovely. How has this been for you?
I really enjoyed talking with you, and since we have these homely elements, I'm in my home, I really feel like we had a brilliant cozy meeting. So it was wonderful. Thank you.
Like a little fireside chat. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Sandra. It was really, really lovely to connect with you. And for those that are watching, I'm going to put Sandra's contact info in the bottom of the links of the video, and you can connect with Sandra on Facebook. What's your do you just go by your name on Facebook, Sandra?
Yes, it's Sandra S. You say Nikolic, I say Nikolic. So it's Nikolic. I believe I spelled it correctly. You'll leave the link, so I believe it will be easy to find just my personal page.
Well, thank you very much. Lovely as always, and I look forward to seeing you again. Anytime, you're welcome back.
Bye.